All right. So I'm Stephen Lang. I'm a University of Adelaide PhD student, and I've got 4 minutes, so I'll jump straight into it. So many sandy agricultural soils across southern Australia contain high-strength soil layers that physically restrict root growth. These soil layers may become too hard and compacted for roots to penetrate, resulting in shallow rooting systems which greatly reduce the pool of available water and nutrient resources for plants and leave crops vulnerable to water stress when rainfall is inconsistent. High soil strength can develop through a variety of mechanisms which often overlap. So these include compaction, where external forces compress the soil. I've got cementation, where chemical reactions create hard pans, but also hard setting processes, where soils become hard as they dry out, but then soften again when they're re-wet. These hard setting processes are not particularly well understood in sandy soils, which partly to do with strength being intertwined with soil water content, and so it's difficult to track. Hard setting soils have a weak structure that collapses when the soil is wet. The soil slumps and fine particles are mobilised and then retreat with the water meniscus as the soil dries. These fine clay particles and precipitation of cementing agents can then form cohesive bridges at contact points between sand grains. This is what you might see under electron microscopy. And the result is a sharp increase in soil strength below certain water content thresholds. Try again. So the first part of my research looks at key characteristics of hard setting soils. So certain particle size distributions are more susceptible to hard setting. So where the sand fraction of the soil is less well sorted, so there's more variation in sand grain size. These compact together with less space between them and more contact points for these cohesive bridges to form and more cohesion. I'm currently using scanning electron microscopy to identify the role that different cementing agents may play at these contact points and how these differ across locations and with depth in the soil. Since, as I've touched on, the constraint is dependent on the soil drying, it doesn't always affect plants to the same degree. The relationship's complex since soil hard setting reduces root elongation, but roots also contribute to the hard setting as they dry out the soil by taking up water. So the second focus for my PhD has been using field and glasshouse trials to see how hard setting impacts growth under variable moisture conditions. And then finally, I'm also exploring how the use of some different soil amendments can potentially reduce how these soils hard set. So this is with some glasshouse trials where the images show the addition of clay increasing soil strength relative to the control and these soils resealing by the end of the experiment, whereas in contrast the addition of loosened straw or biochar reduced strength and promoted deeper root growth down the pots. So just to finish off, so identifying how hard setting forms and contributes to constrained root growth will help us to develop more effective strategies to overcoming this constraint and to grow deeper rooted, more resilient crops. Thank you.